Good morning, Washington. How you doing, everybody? It's Christmas Day. Dave TV here on DCRTV.com. I'm going to be heading out in a little while to spend some time with some friends on this beautiful sunny Christmas day here in the Washington area. I opened up some presents this morning. Got this from my sister, who's out in California. Look at that. Camo. It's a camo lantern and camo flashlight and a camo headband thingy dingy. She knows my love for camo, so thanks a lot, sis. Wanted to do a very special Dave TV today, for Christmas Day. Wanted to do the top 10 local media stories of 2011. Quick run through of that. So that's what we're going to do today on Dave TV. So let's get started, shall we? In the number 10 spot for the top 10 local media stories in the Washington, Baltimore area this year. Number 10, the changes at PGC. That's right, CBS's Heritage Urban Contemporary station saw a lot of changes this year as its ratings continue to sag. New PD and Jason Kidd, and just some big news just the last couple days. Big Tigger, the morning guy's gone. So, we're going to be seeing some big changes at PGC in the new year, I know. More music, how they're going to balance the station in between Hot 99.5 and KISS. We shall see. But that's our 10th biggest media story of the year. Okay, folks. What's number 9? That's right, Dan Snyder, the Redskins owner, and his silly lawsuit against the city paper. Now, this actually started in late 2010, but it consumed most of 2011. He sued the city paper and Dave McKenna there for writing that story, kind of a humorous story about Dan Snyder's business dealings. And then he changed the lawsuit. It was like $2 million. Then he moved the lawsuit from New York to Washington, and then eventually he dropped the suit. It was a lose-lose for everybody, except for the city paper. Well, they did lose some money hiring lawyers and stuff, but they did get a lot of attention and a lot of web traffic. So it was probably a generalized plus for the city paper, but made Dan Snyder look bad. And it kind of gave, the Redskins' awful season, that kind of was his kind of punishment from the heavens for this suit. Somebody up there is not a fan of Dan Snyder, I don't think. Okay, number 8. The number 8 big story of the year in the Washington media. Mac McGarry retires from It's Academic, Channel 4's longtime school quiz show, high school quiz show there after 50 big years. A big salute to Mac McGarry, but a big story there. 50 years. Mac McGarry gone from It's Academic. A cool guy, and our salutes to Mac. The number 7 big media story in the Washington area for this year. The NBC Comcast merger. Why? Well, because Comcast owns most of the cable systems in the Washington area, and NBC owns Channel 4, one of the major TV stations. So putting these two guys in bed together, I personally don't think it was a good idea to do. But there you have it. I think it is having some gradual changes in the Washington line. Basically you have the company that owns Channel 4, also the primary distributor of all the TV stations that compete with Channel 4, including Channel 5, 7, and 9 in the Washington market. I don't know. That's a weird setup. And we're going to be feeling the ramifications from this merger for many years to come, slowly but surely. And they're not going to be good ones. So anyhow, that's my big number 7 top story, local media story for 2011. Number 6, the demise of 105.9 The Edge. Classic rock there. Citadel owned the station, then Cumulus took it over in September. And the first thing they did when they got control of the DC cluster there was they got rid of The Edge. It had some really great people on it. Mike O'Mara, Kirk McEwen, Surf Colwell, some really good people there. Tom Grooms, and they're great rock personalities in this market and talk personalities. But the station, which lasted for about 2 years, basically they didn't tweak the music at all. It just didn't quite click. I think it could have been a successful station, just didn't work. and it's sad. So goodbye to the Edge, the number 6 top media story of 2011. Number 5, dun, 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 WTOP All Newsers continued dominance in the market for just about every week. WTOP was the top station, and not by a little bit, but by a lot. And also, the big news on WTOP this year is their sale from Bonneville to Hubbard. So they're under new ownership now. But, the station just keeps trucking now. It will be interesting to see how they do in 2012, and we'll get to that in a minute. But for 2011, it was certainly WTOP's year. And also, the other big news for TOP was in 2010, it was the top ad revenue billing station for the entire country, which is amazing because DC is only the 9th largest radio market. It will be moving up to 8th, by the way, in 2012. Or 11, yeah. Okay, the number 4 big media story of the year. Second story to come out of Jennifer Street there. WMAL to FM. Big news there. They moved to 105.9. They took the place of the Edge. And all the changes at the station. They saw a lot of changes. New program director Bill Hess was elevated to that post. A new owner with Citadel leaving and Cumulus taking over. A new morning show. Remember Fred Grandy got the ouster and all that. And Andy Parks, of course, left way before him. And then they moved Brian Wilson and MKH. Yeah. But anyhow, for better or for worse, a lot of changes there at MAL. As I've said, I think there's more tweaking that needs to be done to this station and probably will get done in 2012. But it was a big year for this station. And I think on all in all, good move to FM. I think it's going to be generally beneficial for the station, but they need to do a lot more at this station in the coming year to make it a success and to battle that all-news competition there on the FM dial. So there, that's number 4. The number three media story for 2011 in the Washington market, the continued decline of the Washington Post and local print media. Post circulation down another 4%. Almost every year their circulation drops 4, 5, 6%. It just keeps going down and down and down. The paper doesn't look good these days. The style section is particularly weak. Lots of big pictures. They miss a lot of scoops. The Post is scooped by a lot of other local media sites, including this one over the year in the past year. And then we're also throwing in the overall local decline of the print media. So we'll throw the Baltimore Sun in there too. More buyouts at the Sun. The Post closing its suburban bureaus. The Sun trying to get some more ad revenue by starting up a paywall. It's just all symptoms of the continued decline of print media, local print media in the Washington area, especially symptomatic in the Washington Post and at the Baltimore Sun. So that's our third big story for the year. The second, number 2, biggest story of the year. WBAL's great Ron Smith dies. This man was a legend in Baltimore radio and television, having started out as a anchor on Channel 11 and then moving over to be, for the last couple decades, a wonderful, principled, intelligent, leaning righty talker, but he wasn't the bombast and the carnival atmosphere that you hear by a lot of these guys on the radio today. Ron Smith, a true legendary broadcaster, passed away in December, just a couple of days ago. Last week, was it? There at WBAL. Great guy, and we honor him. He's the second biggest story here in the Washington-Baltimore market for 2011. And the top story, you probably guessed it already. Number 1, CBS. CBS Radio there in Lanham is starting a new all-newser, WNEW, in January. So this was announced in November. Of course, we got the story first. And the movement of Steve Swenson to head the CBS cluster. He comes from New York City, where he was heading the 2 all-newsers up there. So he's coming down here, and he's really shaking things up. So I think, this is going to be a huge story in this new year. It's going to be fun for us to cover, and it's going to be real interesting to see how the battle between CBS's WNEW and WTOP, which is owned by Hubbard, and still CBS News will still be heard on WTOP because they still have a contract to be heard there. So you won't be hearing the CBS network top-of-the-hour news on WNEW, even though the station is owned by CBS. But I think this is the biggest story, media-wise, of the year. And it may even be the biggest story of 2012 as we watch things play out. So that's it. So those are our top 10 media stories for 2011. And I just wanted to do a nice little kind of a look back on 2011 on this Christmas Day 2011. All right, folks, you have a wonderful Christmas. Lots of cool things coming up for DCRTV in 2012, so stay tuned. And I will say, stay tuned. Have a great one, and Merry Christmas, everybody.